Welcome back to another episode of Late Entry. You got your boy, the host, Double Dose. We also got Kyle
What up, though?
and Nolan,
Hey everyone.
and it's your girl, Buck. We're going to start off with some craziness that happened in the Pistons game against the Timberwolves. A total of 4 players were ejected from the game over a brawl that ended up in the baseline into the crowd of the game. Also, the Pistons head coach was ejected, as well as the assistant on the Timberwolves. The players who were ejected include Isiah Stewart, Ron Holland, Marcus Sasser, Dante DiVincenzo, and Naz Reid. I didn't watch the game live, but I did see the videos after. It was a pretty intense brawl. Personally, I don't have any stake in either of these teams necessarily. I love the way the Pistons have been playing this season. It's an awesome thing I think it's double their or triple their wins. Yeah, triple their wins from last season. That's an incredible feat in and of itself. And they're definitely showing some heart. There's definitely questions about how they're showing it. So I'll open up the floor. What do you guys think?
Bickerstaff, when he came in here, he said he was going to bring back Detroit basketball. And I think starting brawls and falling into the fans is not necessarily Detroit basketball. But he wants we're going to come get you attitude, you know. We're going to be physical. We're going to pound the rock. We're going to get inside. We're going to play hard defense. We're going to push you around. We're going to make the refs call stuff. Honestly, Isiah Stewart is a crash out, but he's our crash out as a Pistons fan. I love that he's on our team doing it. I love that he saw that his rookie was getting messed with, and he was like, "Oh hell no!" and he jumped in there. And I think Bickerstaff really stood by his players in the right way after the game by saying that it was brothers standing up for their brothers, and I want that for my team. Every coach wants that for their team. Minnesota probably likes what they saw from their guys, that they all stood up for each other, and that's what you want from your squad is that level of support and that backing. So I mean that's my take on it. I mean fights are going to happen now and again, and Detroit is known for physical ball, and he's brought Detroit basketball back to this city, and that might be a little bit of what comes with it, I think.
Yeah, and
Just off the other team, and scraps happen.
I totally see your point in getting behind the crash out in Isiah Stewart. I think it's a little blown out of proportion. I always see people on Twitter saying, "Oh, I never seen a basketball highlight from this man." Well, that's because they're not actually watching the Pistons play. They don't really get any time on national TV, so it's kind of hard to tune in and catch Isiah Stewart actually, defending the hoop and helping run the offense in a really strong way. But I do have to come back a little bit at the Minnesota, both the fans and the players. I think that they were really upset over a regular foul that really shouldn't have been blown out of proportion like this. I mean, Ron Holland gave a normal basketball foul strip on Naz Reid, and they called the foul. Naz Reid didn't like it. He started walking up into Ron Holland's face. DiVincenzo was up there to back him up on it, and that's where it all kind of turned to hell. I don't think that this is necessarily as big of a deal as it was. I understand the falling into the crowd and the players fighting each other on top of fans, cameramen, that kind of stuff. We are going to see some suspensions. I was expecting to see some today. Has anything come out yet? Have any of you guys seen anything?
Not that I'm aware of. And
yeah, neither.
Like some of the other players that weren't involved were like, "Man, just fine them. Like, why are we suspending these guys for a scrap? This happens at practice." I think Ant said something like that. Like, we see this stuff. Like, just take some money from them. Don't take games from them.
Yeah, I fully agree with that sentiment. However, I think that the league wants to try to stop these types of action, especially before the playoffs get kicked off. So I would understand a suspension, whether it's 1 to 3 games. I don't think it should be anything more than that. Both of the teams, Timberwolves are still in the play-in, so it would actually probably hurt them a lot more than it would hurt the Pistons. So I'm still not in support of the suspensions, but I would understand where they're coming from. Another point you brought up, Bickerstaff was talking about how it's the team getting around each other and really trying to build that brotherly love and sticking up for each other. I really love that from the team. I think the NBA needs way more of that. I think that it's kind of lost with the new way where players are floating as free agents, chasing money and stuff like that. There isn't as much heart in the game. So when you see a team together bonded like that, I think it really speaks volumes just for, regular fans, not even regular fans. I would say fans of the NBA, people that really enjoy basketball. The casual fan, they're not going to see any positive in that unless you're scoring buckets and just making threes and stuff like that. Either way, at the end of the day, I really think that the refs didn't do a great job in the game. They did not do a good job of keeping everybody separated and calmed down. They tried to give Isiah Stewart a tech earlier when DiVincenzo stood up and they were pushing each other. I think that only escalated the tensions. I don't think that did anything to help curb the eventual outcome of this brawl. So I guess we'll just wait and see what happens here.
I don't know. I'm going to sound like the old person clutching my pearls about the whole situation, but I disagree with you guys on this one for a few things. First, the Isiah Stewart thing. No hate on him at all. I mean, like you said, that's our crash out, but I think he's starting to get like the Draymond reputation. If you didn't watch the game and you heard that there was a fight with the Pistons, everyone already knew that Isiah Stewart was going to be involved in that. Bro, I'm literally was looking at the shit, excuse me, last night on Twitter, and I'm seeing there was a fight, and all the tweets saying I bet I know who was involved. We're getting to have our own little baby Draymond. The second thing is you got to suspend the players. Excuse me. You have to. You've got the players want protection from the fans. You know what I mean? If a fan interferes with the player, if you say something egregious, if you touch them, you throw something at them, that fan is gone forever. That same thing, you can't have a fight spill into the stands. You literally had the players fighting on top of the fans in the front row. If somebody is pushing somebody throws a punch, whatever that is, and you miss the player and you hit a fan, you cannot have a fan get punched in the fucking head or pushed hard or anything like that. Or, you know what I mean? Who knows who's sitting in the front row? You can't have somebody push, even if it's just a straight push, you can't have somebody push a 200-plus pound player into a fan sitting in the front that could get injured. From a league perspective, they need, for liability's sake, you can't allow something like that to happen. Which is the whole reason that they came down so hard on the situation with the Malice in the Palace. Ironically, the Pistons as well. It's just, you can't, as a league, allow that to happen. You've got
even though that was started by a fan, in a sense, but yeah.
The Malice in the Palace, yeah.
Yes.
It's just a matter of, from a liability perspective, you can't allow that to happen.
Were there any punches thrown in this altercation? I didn't see any.
I mean, go ahead.
Definitely thrown, maybe not landed. I think maybe not once they hit the stands, but at the initial in the initial scuffle, or as I heard by somebody on YouTube today, the kerfuffle that took place. There was definitely a couple of big swing, overhead Superman punches,
and it was literally
thrown into the mix
on top of the fans. There was a dude underneath all of that who was a regular fan.
I think he was either Holland or Sasser. You're watching the video and you're like, damn, that's a pile of people. And then at the end, I think it was even Stewart picks up. I think it was Holland. It was either Holland or Sasser. He picks him up. And he was at the bottom of that pile, laying down on his back. His head could have got stepped on. I know that fan safety is important too, but even just player safety, there were so many things that could have gone wrong.
From a liability perspective for the league, the fan that's this is all happening on top of a fan or fans. If they turn around and sue the league, you know what I mean? That's going to be a lot of money all on camera. And when you when you sit in the front row, there's inherent risk that comes with it. That inherent risk is a player falling, a player chasing down a loose ball or something like that, not a fight happening on top of him. And so just like I said, from a liability perspective, the league can't allow that to happen. And so I think that you've got to, you had 5 players and 2 coaches I mean, that was crazy. You had 2 coaches get ejected from the whole thing, too, which I feel like you don't see very often. Usually if a coach gets ejected, it's from just arguing with the ref about a call. But to have all of that happen, and like I said, if it happened on the floor, cool, maybe no suspensions. But to have that happening on top of the fans, that's where I'm saying they gotta shut that shit down.
That's a very good point. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Nolan's right. I think you don't suspend them for more than like 3 games. I mean, like at the end of the day, like, and I'm split in the whole like just not Pistons Wolves this particular fight, but just like in general because Spencer's right. Like from a liability standpoint, and also like you want like the players want protection from the fans. Like it's kind of like an equal thing here. Like you can't be shoving another player into the people and like sitting on the baseline and sitting on courtside. I also think it's just crazy when you think about like the difference of like space that you have between you as the professional player and you as the fan. Like how difference of space between all the leagues. Like you have the NFL and the MLB, which like the closest you'll get in the MLB is you're on top of the dugout. You know what I mean? You're on the first or third baseline, or you're in the outfield, and you know what I mean. But it's not like the whole time you're like right there. But in basketball, you are right there. So I think that's still crazy that the that the NBA and even like NCAA, like how close they really are is absolutely insane. But then you think about it, like in like on the baseline, they're farther back on the baseline than they are on the sideline. So they really were pushing them off the court. So I feel like when it goes off the court like that is where you have to see more heavy suspensions. If it stayed literally on the court and under the basket, I say you kind of let them go. You give them the tech, you give them the flagrant, you kick them out of the game, you fine them, and kind of like maybe 1 game, if that, be done with it. See, I'm of the opinion though, like I want, like, no matter who is playing, I want those 2 teams for that night, for that 40 minutes or whatever it is, 48 minutes, I want them to hate each other. Like, I want them to absolutely despise each other for that game. Like, I don't want them to be buddies. I don't want them to be friends. Like, I want them to talk shit and hate each other because that's just going to create more competition. I think the line, like, Spencer's right. Like, I think the line right there is kind of when you bring that outside of the, like, out of bounds, literally on the court. When you get into the stands, when you're the fan or even, like, the cameraman's safety is at risk, like, that's when you really have to, like, shut that shit down.
One thing I just want to say real quick, and then I'll hand it back to you guys. But you were talking about, like, the separation of how close the fans are, and, like, to the players. And that's the whole thing. Like, players have always talked about, like, the league owes it to the players to make sure that because they're so close that they keep them safe from the fans, and the same as vice versa. Anything that happens in that situation, like an altercation between like the players and the fans, is to the league the worst possible thing that can happen. If you have 2 guys just fight in the middle of the court, I mean, like the players take that risk by themselves, but a fan getting hurt due to an out of like regular basketball play, that's the worst thing that can happen from the league's perspective. So that's why they have to come down on that the hardest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally see the point there. If we want to bring it to the actual game itself, the Pistons were up by 9 when this happened. It took Cade Cunningham, Tobias Harris, Jaden Ivey, Ron Holland, Isiah Stewart, and also Sasser in order for the Timberwolves to have a shot at beating them. And I think that proves a lot to how well the Pistons have been playing. And I think that when they're fully healthy, they're really going to be a team that nobody wants to fuck with.
Been on a game where arguably a couple of your best players get ejected. Bravo, sir. Not that I disagree with you. I'm just saying, like, from like a perspective, like reading what I've read on this and like hearing the kind of the media behind it, like it seems like a lot of people are like knocking on the Pistons pretty hard. But I agree with you. Like they played a hard game. They were up. This happens. Their enforcer, if you will, gets ejected. Sasser goes. Everything like that.
And even the head coach getting taken out, that does a lot to the team for the game
That's
plan
fine.
going forward. And I think he's been the biggest piece in all of this. Bueckers staff. He's turned this thing.
Ejected, and he got ejected for standing up for his player because I guess the assistant coach on the Timberwolves was chewing at the referee's ear about a particular player on the Pistons who is known for like instigating, presumably, and was talking and JB went up to, and I don't know what was said. I didn't read that far into it. I don't know if it was been published what was actually said, but apparently it was that altercation that he got ejected for.
Yeah, getting ejected for words is really fucking soft too.
Yeah, but you see MLB coaches get ejected for arguing a ball versus a strike and having choice words, and the home umpire will toss him for it. And usually every fan is pissed off about it.
Those words are probably something fierce, though. That he's probably calling his mother.
It's usually a minute of motherfucking.
Yeah, motherfucking this, motherfucking that, fucking your mother this, fucking your mother that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Don't demonetize us, YouTube. Oh wait, we're not monetizing. It's all good.
My gosh.
We'll get there. We need your support. This is a great time to talk about how you guys should like and subscribe to Late Entry with Double Dose on all platforms. YouTube, TikTok. Are we on Instagram?
We actually, as of yesterday, are on Instagram.
We are on Instagram. This is breaking news right now with Double Dose and the crew. We are on Instagram. Go follow us on Instagram. Tune in for our shorts. I know my boy Tony's out there is grateful because he's always on Reels. So
hell yeah. So this whole thing has before that, in quick news, the fucking Suns are a fucking disgrace, dog. They were getting smacked last night by the fucking Rockets. I think they lost by like 40 fucking points. Awful fucking team.
Yeah.
But Dylan Brooks got ejected last night for fucking trying to have a little kerfuffle with KD. And so the Pistons shit plus this, it got me thinking. I want to build a team, man. I want to build a team. We're going to have Chris Paul at point guard. We have Jimmy Buckets at shooting guard. We're going to have Draymond Green and Dylan Brooks as our forwards and Isiah Stewart as our center. And they are probably not going to win that many games, but they're going to put up a hell of a fight. That's going to be the NBA.
Technical.
That's going to be the NBA fight stars, dog.
yes,
the world
NBA World Stars. Yes, that's awesome.
We got a World Star selection this year, boys.
Yeah.
Nobody's over 6'9" in that crew either. That's hilarious.
They just scrap.
They just scratch. Draymond and Isiah Stewart in the lane together would be. It would just be a bloodbath.
I feel like we are.
It'd be like that time that World's Strongest Man fought those two like 130-pound Asian men in a UFC ring, and like they would just be like 6'9" against freaking Giannis coming in at them, and he'd just like 2 hands to each forehead, just take him down. And they'd be like,
I feel like we're coming on a collision course. At some point, the Warriors are going to play the Pistons. Are we going to get fucking the matchup everyone wants to see, dog? Draymond versus Isiah Stewart. That is coming.
I'll go to that game.
Yeah.
It'd be cool to see them play together. Put all that fucking negative energy into each other.
2 negatives make a positive. We learned that in science.
That's some smart shit, dude. That's 3rd grade right there.
That's right. Keeping it stocked away just for this podcast. That's the only time I've used that. Fucking wash windows. I don't need that.
Speaking of the Suns, Durant is out with a left ankle sprain for a week. Another NBA injury news. Zion and Chris McCallum are out for the rest of the season for the Pelicans. So
Pelicans have officially started their tank with 7 games left. They're way too late.
Real quick, Buck. It's CJ McCollum. Chris McCallum is someone we went to college with.
Shout out Chris.
Shout out Chris McCallum. Hey, he swears that they're cousins.
I spelled the name wrong too.
He swears they're cousins.
Seriously, he swears that they're cousins.
They have different last names. How are they cousins? McCallum. All right, hey, I'll give it to him.
Is McCollum?
Yeah, CJ McCollum.
McCollum.
Yep.
Macaulay Culkin?
Is
It
it
does
time?
sound like the Black Irish last name.
It does. Is it time for us to put Zion in the fucking Anthony Davis, Joel Embiid conversations?
He's already been there, I think.
I think AD has been ahead of the Zion. I don't think Zion has ever played more than, 50 games in a year?
Probably not.
Probably something around there. I think it's worse than the AD Joel Embiid. I mean, maybe it's on par with the Joel Embiid, but Zion's never been a superstar. He's never been even close to an MVP. Never won a championship. He has none of the accolades that the other two guys you just mentioned have. I mean, he has
He's
just
been an all-star
been
before, I
a
think.
flat out.
I think he hasn't
Like
won
been an
it.
all-star.
once or twice,
Okay.
yeah. Not like a super
Sure.
superstar though. I think he's got to have.
So
one of
I
the
mean,
most, like,
he's
go ahead.
not a renowned franchise guy. Is basically my point. Go ahead.
Just not reliable.
I was
No.
gonna say I
Is
don't
he
know if there's
Claudia?
been like too many people that are like as big of a disappointment this far in their career as Zion, like in recent memory. Like I feel like of the people that are like before they got to the league thing, insane hype about. You had like, you know, like a LeBron, been famous like since he was in high school. People knew who he was. I remember like Zion when he was in high school, like seeing videos of him like as a sophomore, playing super well, and people thought he was going to be like the next like greatest player in the league. And then I feel like he has shown up and not delivered the same way as like a LeBron or even like a Wemby. Obviously, Wemby has like the blood clots right now, but when he's been there, which has been most of the time, I feel like he's been really good within 2 seasons. And now I feel
He
like
was going to win Defensive Player of the Year this year.
Yeah.
And now I feel like the next
Is he a
person
big-
that we're gonna see on that same trajectory is like a Cooper Flag, someone who's been famous since like high school that we've all known
Yeah.
about. But Zion, I feel
And
like
the expectations will be that high. Yeah.
yeah,
No,
Yep.
what I'll say, like I would almost put Zion. I guess since he's been an all-star, I don't know if Lonzo has, but I'd put him slightly above Lonzo,
That's a good
just because
comparison,
there was
but-
so much hype around both of them in their high school careers and what they were going to be. And I mean, they've done nothing. But the only Ball brother that's come close to filling those shoes is LaMelo. You know,
that's a good point.
Yeah.
I forgot about
I mean,
Lonzo.
Tweaker's a good song, but I
True.
mean, yeah, he did not make it in basketball. Yeah, so I'd put him in that class with like the Ball brothers.
That's
He's
fair.
I forgot
he's
about
gotten a
Lonzo,
lot of
dog. I
legs
forgot.
out of his career. I know. I forget about him too, but is he still with the Bulls right now?
Yeah,
He's
I
hurt,
forgot.
though?
I forgot that Lonzo
Again?
existed until I saw like a little clip like on the jumbotron when I was at that game, and then I didn't
Oh,
see him
right.
like play or anything, but
Right.
I've literally forgot that he existed as a person. He hasn't played in like what 2 years.
Something like that. I don't think he's.
He's
I
had a
think
couple
he.
games here
I
and
think
there.
he came back for a little bit, and then he got hurt again and was out for the year.
Sheesh.
But back to that, the biggest busts of recent. I think the only kind of comparable bust is. Do you guys remember Jabari Parker?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Ari
that was
Parker,
a
that
lot.
sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Who do you play
Is the-
for?
He was the number 1 overall pick out of, I believe, Duke or Kentucky. He was supposed to be the next LeBron, and I don't think he did anything with his career. He jumped teams a couple times. Did he get drafted by the Timberwolves? I think that sounds right. We
Yeah,
have to
that sounds
fact check
right.
that one, but yeah, he's one of the guys that didn't really do shit once he got to the NBA. Maybe like a 7 or 8 points per game, being the number 1 pick out of the draft. Pretty ridiculous, but that's the only one that I can think that kind of out-busted Zion.
Right.
And that's
Yeah.
just based off of a guy that plays games.
I don't know. I think Kyle's got a good point with Lonzo. I would say that that's probably the other big one, like in recent memory.
But at
Right.
least Lonzo can fill like a role player on a team when he's healthy.
I mean, Zion
When
is
he's
a
healthy.
star when he's healthy. When he's healthy.
That is true.
When he's healthy.
Yeah.
I really wanted the Pistons to get him last year because I kind of felt like he would be a good fit in our room, but there was like rumors going around on the Detroit radio that like they were interested, but I mean I don't know if Bickerstaff would have even wanted to entertain a guy like that Just
Yeah.
can't stay
No.
disciplined, can't stay healthy, you know.
That's the thing. It's the discipline.
I think
Too many cheeseburgers.
I think he's lost a lot of weight like recently.
He
Like-
said
like
something
just
like that, I
recently,
think,
yeah.
in an interview.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's not about now. It's about like your behavior. Like it's all of it combined. I feel like the lack of consistency, whether it be, you know, whether you blame it on injuries or you blame it on this or you blame it on that, I think just not having that level of consistency, like a lot of other players absolutely show. You know, like you might take a player that might have like just a little less talent, raw talent, right? But if he can outwork somebody who doesn't want to show up all the time, and you know what I mean, who isn't consistent all of the time. So I feel like that's where I feel like coaches like JB have like a really good eye for that kind of thing. And I mean, another good Detroit coach that I feel like has that is Dan Campbell.
And
I mean, like you have to have like a certain kind of like it factor, you know what I mean? And a lot of players, like a lot of athletes will talk about it, and you don't really know what it is until you have it, until you see it, you know, either as a coach or a player. And I feel like a big part of that is discipline and consistency. I mean, you've always heard about Tom Brady, LeBron James, always talking about like the crazy stuff that they do with their body, what they don't put in their body, what they do, you know, all that stuff. I mean, it's not for nothing, right?
No.
Like,
And that's exactly
yeah.
Kyle was talking about that. I think on our last episode about that exact same thing about fitting in with Detroit culture too. So
Yeah, they're building something like exactly like what the Lions are building in the NFL, and I love it. I feel like I mean, Illich's teams, the Wings and the Tigers, are kind of doing that. I thought the Wings kind of had some motion going after they fired their head coach, but they've kind of fizzled back to nothingness, and I'm pretty sure they're out of the playoffs.
I think they're only 3 points out of the wild card right now.
Are they really? Okay. I thought that it was basically done. But I just got FanDuel TV, so I'll be able to watch those games going forward.
Hell yeah.
that is insane
Shout
to
out
me.
FanDuel. We need a sponsor.
That is insane to me
absolutely
that a fucking sports book owns a TV, like a fucking sports network.
Well, Bally
I know,
Sports,
owns
they're also
regional.
a sports book.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're in the worst fucking timeline. That's crazy.
Yeah, I agree.
That's how these leagues
best
make
and the
all their
worst.
money.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be able to have this podcast if we weren't in this timeline because of our living situations. But at the same time, we get freaking sportsbooks owning the network in which we watch our sports.
Yeah.
So it also sucks.
That it is crazy. Speaking of more basketball, we have our NCAA men's tournament challenge still going.
Is it?
So where we sit right now,
Is it?
I think mathematically, Nolan, you're gonna have to pick out some hot sauce. You have 660 points. Your max is, let's see. Your max is
Your max is L.
820. 820. So Nolan's definitely taking this L. I think in third, what is it? Third is Kyle.
I don't care. It's not last, baby.
No, it's not last. So you still have max of 1290. You're at 810 right now.
Come on, Blue Devils. Let's go.
Spencer,
I'm all
you're
of a sudden a
actually-
Duke fan.
Heck yeah. Spencer, you're actually winning right now. The whole shebang with our group of people. So your max is 1130, you're at 970, and then I'm in second, fourth overall, 1060 max, 900 points.
The only thing is, I don't think I can win it all just because of like the max points. But as for right now, like I'm in first. I will tell you, the most scared I've ever been in my entire life recently was this period of time between fucking Tennessee losing, bless you, and Michigan State's end of their game. Because if State had won, I would have probably been cooked. Because at that point, Buck, you had more points than I did, and I was terrified.
Yeah. And I don't know, did anybody watch that Tennessee game? Because honest to God, I honestly think that was probably one of the worst basketball games I've ever seen in like tournament history. Like that was a terrible game by Tennessee. Like left and right, the only thing I could say was that was a bad shot. That was a terrible shot. That was a terrible shot. Like there's just the choice of shot And even when they were taking good opportunities, there was a lid on the rim for them. They couldn't make a shot to save their lives.
I'm sitting here watching the team that I picked to win it all, just break shot after shot, and my fucking I'm just devastation.
They shot 28% overall for that game, field goals. That's insane.
Well, I didn't realize that stat until you were telling me that in the pre-show, but I did watch the highlights after because I knew you guys had them picked to win, so I knew we'd be talking about this. And it was like no Tennessee, like you hardly saw them on offense in the highlight reel. I was like, yeah, this was just a bad game.
Didn't they have like 16 points at half?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
And they really didn't play like awful defense either. It wasn't they didn't even play awful defense. They actually played pretty okay on defense. They just couldn't make a shot to save their lives. I didn't think they were going to hit double digits before the end of half. That was how bad it was.
Yeah, that's a rough. I mean, especially watching the team you picked to win it all do that in the first half. I've been there in years past, and it is not a fun feeling. You're just on your couch, like questioning yourself. And did I even do the podcast on Monday? I don't even know ball. Like, yeah.
It was brutal, dog.
That was insane. I saw something on Twitter that said it was like the college report. Tennessee's Final Four drought continues. 116 years, 0 Final Four appearances. And somebody quoted it and said, "It's not a drought. This is their climate." It's like me saying I'm going through owning a Lamborghini drought.
That's a good analogy.
That's perfect.
Did anybody watch that Duke game against Alabama? Because we just saw Alabama kick some ass in the game before where they put up 120 whatever it was or 116 points. And then they come out against Duke and they look like a fucking middle school team losing by 20.
It was the most they like in their previous game. It was like the most threes in like history, right?
Tournament
history. Yeah, it was.
Duke's the best team in the country.
It was crazy, man. It was like the whole weekend was kind of like the reverse of whatever happened in their previous game. Like Texas Tech, they were losing to Arkansas the whole time, and then wind up coming back and beating them. And then they played. I forgot who they played. Auburn, right? And then they're winning the whole time, and then blow it right at the fucking end. Like it was an interesting situation like that. Alabama so hot hitting all the threes, and then fuck around and look like terrible against Duke, and Duke destroyed them.
Yeah. Duke has beaten every single team by 20 plus, I'm pretty sure, the whole way.
Cooper Flagg looks legit. He really does.
Yeah.
I have friends that don't even watch basketball text me saying, "Oh my god, this Cooper Flagg guy is legit." Like, yeah, he's going to be the number one pick for a reason.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you guys what do you think his ceiling is in the NBA?
Washington Wizards Hall of Famer.
But do you think that he's going to be like transcendently good, or do you think he's going to be?
No, I'm just trolling. I think he could definitely be like a perennial all-star, like Luka or somebody like that, for sure.
See, I don't know if he's going to be Luka's level, but definitely damn close. Definitely damn close. I just think there's something about Luka coming from like the European side of basketball that he's just a little bit different in his play. I think the same thing about Jokic, but I definitely think that whatever the ceiling is, I think he breaks it. Honestly, I mean he's that good of a player. So as much as I'll say like I don't think he's gonna be he probably will be.
I'll say I think we got to give him potentially. Might have to give him 1 year. I don't know for sure, but like just because he's going to be going 1 year in college to the big leagues, like he might have a little bit of an adjustment period. And I mean, he's not undersized, but he's not, super built. But, LeBron, when he first got to the league versus where LeBron was year 5, 6, it's a way, it's a different story, right? So I think he could go. I think the sky's the limit, potentially. I think he's a really good He's got really good feel for the game, especially for a college player. I mean, he thinks way more outside of the box and puts himself in holes that nobody else that he's playing against is even really considering him to be in, which is why he's getting these open looks and these spots and wide open dunks on the back door, and because he's just smart. So yeah, I think this guy's the limit. We'll just see what he can do. What's that?
He sees the court really well. Fully agree.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, real quick, speaking of Jokic that you brought up, did you guys see the 2 insane plays he's made in the last few days? He had the behind-the-back pass in through traffic to Aaron Gordon, and then had a Euro step, damn near full court shot. That was crazy, right? Jokic is on another fucking level right now.
Yeah. And he probably should be the MVP. I'm not giving SGA any flowers this year for scoring a bunch of points and getting to the free throw line 15 times a game. I think that's some bullshit basketball, and I think it's the same way that Joel Embiid won his MVP.
Did you have an issue with Harden when he was doing that too?
Oh, 100%. I hate the foul baiting. I hate the jumping into people. I hate swinging your arms through. I think it's the absolute worst type of basketball, and I think you should be punished for it in the NBA.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I fully agree. I think playing to your advantage is, and I also think like playing to your advantage is different than foul baiting. Like going and taking the mismatch, for example, and going hard at somebody because you have a mismatch and you get fouled. That's one thing. Going hard to the basket, pretty much knowing you're going to get fouled, like that's one thing. But foul baiting, I feel like, is a different thing. So playing to your advantages is I feel like completely different. A lot of people I've seen say that like SGA just plays to his advantage, and I feel like that's not as accurate. I don't think that's accurate at all.
Yeah, I fully agree with you there, Buck.
Yeah, just to wrap up, men's college. It was Florida that beat Texas Tech, Spencer. And
You're
State
right,
lost
my
to
bad.
Auburn.
Yep.
And State lost to Auburn, which I think was the game that put Nolan out for sure, as State losing to Auburn. And other NCAA tournament news, did you guys have anything else to say about those two games?
Michigan State played like shit. They couldn't make a shot. They missed every single layup that they took. They deserved to lose. They played like just dog ass the whole time, honestly.
Yeah.
So, do we...
7% in the first half. You're never. I mean, you said Tennessee went 28 overall. Michigan State went 27 in the first half, like 3 for 14 or 15 from 3. It's like, what do you get? Like, stop putting up the 3 ball when you're 3 for 10 or 3 for 12 as a team. Like, what are you guys doing? You know, and I don't know. So there's, like Nolan said, no reason for them to win that game.
Yeah.
Are we doing this, Nolan, you doing the hot sauce shot? Are we going to do that the game, or the show immediately after March Madness wraps up entirely?
So, yeah, that'll probably be Thursday next week.
Okay.
Friday next week, yeah.
So whenever March Madness ends, like when we have a victor, then tune in to see the loser. Nolan, you got to stop putting yourself in fucking situations with these contests with Buck and me, dude.
Hey,
we're all in
you're the one making the punishments, bro. Come on.
We're all
what did he do last time? What did I miss?
Yeah, so for everyone who doesn't know, the 3 of us are in a fantasy league. It's the one that used to be in Cal Blood Bowl. But we had like whoever was.
When you kicked me out of, yeah.
I did not kick you. Fuck you.
Let me make this new dynasty league to put Kyle in so I can put my real friends in the Blood Bowl.
You
all right,
quit.
that's cool.
You quit. That's crazy.
We'll go back to the text.
That's
whatever.
Crazy. You gonna call me?
Well, that's for a different episode, I guess.
So look, we had a losing punishment for like I think the loser
last place in the regular season.
Yes, had to do. I think it was 35 units consumed within 24 hours. So the units consisted of like walking or running a mile, a beer, a hot dog, and I think joints were allowed. All of those each equaled 1 unit, and the loser had to consume 35 units. So
in 24 hours.
Yeah. So Nolan lost and had to send us all video updates of him walking miles, drinking beers, and to save space in his stomach, eating hot dogs without the bun. And you were eating those bitches cold. Like, my man's was at Costco.
No, they were microwave,
bro. You were at Costco filling up your gas tank, chewing on a fucking naked glizzy.
I had like 3 of those things lined up.
Dude, you gotta hit 35 units. I get it. Like,
it was
you
a
can't
brutal
drink that
day.
many beers. You got shit to do. Yeah.
Dude, I woke up at 4 a.m., started cracking beers, walking around the neighborhood, did 5 miles by 9 a.m., drank like 4 or 5 beers, probably had 3 hot dogs. My final tally was 10 miles, 14 beers, and 11 hot dogs.
That is insane work, dude. Good shit.
He did. I woke up and went to work the next day, dude.
He did the first.
He had to work the next day.
He did the first.
It was on Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah, he did the first like 30 units like so easily. It looked like the last 5. He's sending us videos of hot dogs looking like he's just gonna fucking throw up.
Oh yeah,
it was bad.
Yeah,
in front of a whole Super Bowl party too. It was amazing.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That was a great punishment.
That's a story to tell your grandkids right there, Nolan.
We're gonna have to show a montage of Nolan's punishments.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I've got all the videos saved in Snapchat.
Oh, beautiful.
That's
awesome. And now you've got hot sauce coming.
Yeah, now I got a shot of hot sauce to put on top of it. You know what? Maybe I'll get a hot dog out and do a little bit of both, just for the shits and gigs.
Nah, see, then. Look, he didn't even have a fucking punishment. He lost on purpose. He just wanted an excuse to gobble Glizzard's dog. Look at that. He said, I'm just willingly going.
He's a glutton, dude.
Purposefully left out the 1 seed to the Final 4, yeah.
Purposefully had, what was it, VCU in the Elite 8?
Yeah.
I still can't believe I made it. I still can't believe I made it as far as I did, having High Point go to the Elite 8. That was a crazy decision. This fall we're gonna have to do like a late entry like fantasy league with like us and like Lex and maybe like Ben, get a few people who've like been part of it, and see if Nolan can redeem himself. Or we'll get another Nolan punishment.
I might have to be fucking out depending on what the punishment is. This is some bullshit. You're just setting me up to fucking fail, Spencer. I'm blaming you.
You agree to it. The irony is, awesome. I feel like you probably watch the most men's college basketball.
Yeah.
I only watched like 2 or 3 teams, honestly. This year was a pretty blind pick, in my honest opinion.
You know how many games I watched before March Madness?
I'm gonna guess 1 or 2. You probably saw Cooper Flagg play a handful of times.
Wow.
0.
That's fake news. There's no way you didn't see Cooper Flagg play a game before March Madness.
First game I saw Cooper Flagg play was this last game.
No way, bro.
Bro, I'm busy. I try to follow like the NBA. I have work. I fucking have to fucking chop up all these fucking videos and edit them. You know what I mean? The first time I saw Cooper Flagg play was this most recent game, and it was a sight to behold.
That's good, man.
I can't believe you're fucking beating me in this shit.
Well,
it's always the person that's like doesn't pay attention. Is like, this name's cool, and like that ends up being the freaking Cinderella team of the year.
See, and I thought
who's George Mason? Huh? I wonder if they'll get to the Final Four.
My last thoughts on this, like March Madness, was just the fact that it's crazy that we've got 4 number 1s in the Final Four. It's only the second time, from what I understand, the second time in history that that's happened. When I filled out I'm in 2 different I guess groups for this. So I've got the one with us and then one with some other friends. And I told you guys before, I filled out my bracket like the night before or like the morning of like when it started, and so I didn't have time to fill out my bracket for that. So I went with like Jay Billis's picks for that, and because he seemed like he was smart, I didn't want to go with like fucking Stephen A's picks or anything like that. So I went with Jay Billis's picks, and that man has fucking served me well. And what's crazy, after I picked that, the next day or later that day on First Take, he was talking about like his bracket, and he was saying that I guess like the last time that the all number 1 seeds made it to the Final Four, it was in Dallas. And so this season is also going to be in Dallas for the championship. And he was saying that he saw a lot of similarities between the two, and he was like, and I'm rocking with
San Antonio, but yes.
San Antonio, thank you. Yes, I knew it was somewhere in Texas. But yeah, so it's just crazy that it's literally mirroring exactly the only other time that it's happened.
Do you want to know the 3 best players in the last time it was all 1 seeds?
Who?
It was Tyler Hansbrough, Derrick Rose, and oh my God, I'm forgetting the last guy, Russell Westbrook.
Oh, that's
Oh,
insane.
shit.
That's insane.
That's crazy.
So who's the 3 best players right now? Does anybody know? I know we got Cooper Flag.
Yeah, we got Cooper Flag. I couldn't tell you the best guy on Houston. The best guy on Florida probably isn't the top 5 pick, and probably that Moore guy from Auburn. He's probably going to be a pretty good pick. He might have a decent NBA career. Probably better than Tyler Hansbrough, but he's playing him in college right now.
I think it's kind of crazy, and I know we're going to talk about the women's in a second, but for the last at least 2 years, I feel like the women have much more prolific names in than college basketball than the men do. It's just Cooper Flag. Last year it was fucking nobody. What, Zach Edey was the only big star, and then with the women you had Juju, you had Paige Bueckers, Hailey Van Lith. Last year you had Angel and fucking Caitlin Clark. It's crazy how that's switching
and I think
around
another
apparently.
point to that is we kind of touched on that last time Buck was on the podcast with how long the college players have to stay before they go to the WNBA. They have that time to build that resume.
That's
This girl's dropping buckets. Oh, she's always making it to the Final Four.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of plays into it as well. That's kind of how we knew Zach Edey was running it last year. He was there for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
True.
That's a really good
sure.
point. Yeah. Speaking of the women's tournament, the kind of Cinderella-ish was kind of TCU. They beat Notre Dame, but then they just tonight lost to Texas. Shout out Hailey Van Lith. I mean, she had a great game this game. I know, Spence, you got some stuff to say.
I just want to give Hailey Van Lith her flowers. I know that she's had an interesting college career. I forgot which team was it, Louisville that she started with, and then she went to LSU.
She's on her 5th team now.
I think 3rd, right? It's just 3, I think.
I think she's moved around quite a bit.
But I know, last season with LSU, I feel like everyone knew who she was just because of that fucking, meme of her, fucking struggling, because Caitlin Clark was cooking her. It was what the fuck am I supposed to do? And people were saying, damn, can she hoop? Can she not hoop? It was really questionable. And then to come all the way this season, make it to the Elite 8, I just want to say, and leading her team, I think she had 17 points tonight, led her team in scoring by far, even though they did wind up losing, just shout out to her for the resilience to go somewhere else, put your head down, work, and then pull a team along.
Yeah.
Especially after where she left off last season. So, shout out Hailey Van Lith.
Yeah, fully agree. 3 teams: Louisville, LSU, and now TCU. Yeah, fully agree, Spence. She's put a pretty good resume together for herself to go to the W if that's what she wants to do. I think she declared, right?
I'm not
Pretty sure she declared. I'm not sure. But other news, UConn is beating Juju-less USC. It looks like they're going to win. It's a pretty offset game. I mean, it's 66-53 right now. 3 minutes left in the 4th.
That sucks.
Yeah, I was really hoping to watch Juju and Paige round 3. Super pumped for that. Hopefully Juju gets better quick and has a better season, has a great season next year, but that really sucks. I was really looking forward to that matchup again. TCU beating Notre Dame was pretty incredible. That was a really good game to watch. On the other side, you have UCLA beat LSU. They play the winner of this game, UConn and USC. So it looks like it's going to be UCLA and UConn. Texas beat TCU, and they will now play South Carolina, who beat Duke in their game. So South Carolina looks like is well on their way. back to go to the championship. In my bracket with the women's league, I have South Carolina winning. So
Over
I think
Paige.
I think it's going to be a tough game, but I think it's going to be South Carolina, UConn, and I think South Carolina is going to win.
That's funny. I've got the perfect Final Four in my women's bracket so far with UCLA, South Carolina, Texas, and I picked UConn, so it's looking like I'm going to hit it. But I do have Texas over UCLA.
Oh, really?
Looks like we should have done a women's bracket competition, huh, Nolan?
Probably not, because I had USC losing in the first round, and they lost by fucking 50.
Oh, my
shit.
God.
They won by 50.
Yeah.
Damn.
Going for a major upset on that one.
Real quick, I know we talk sometimes about the things that we want to see differently in women's basketball. I want to say that they're fucking doing the shit right. They have quarters. What the fuck is up with the men's basketball doing halves? You play quarters in high school, you play quarters in the NBA, but you get to college and for some fucking reason we've got halves. Why?
True.
It makes no sense. And the women do quarters.
Women's was halves until 2015 or 2016, and then they went back to quarters.
Which is how it should be. There's no reason to have halves.
Absolutely how it should be.
Yeah.
And then you can take out media timeouts because you get the media in between the quarters. What the fuck is up with the media timeouts? Why do we still need media timeouts?
Every 4 minutes in the men's game.
This is ass. Yeah.
That's where they make their money.
I feel like we get on here and we just shit on sports production every week. Maybe our podcast should just be named F Sports Production, but I mean they do suck a lot of the time. They don't give us what we want. They don't give it to us. You want us to watch your product, but you make it so hard. I mean, we say that every time.
Recently, I've seen, and I don't know if it's just a YouTube TV thing or not, but recently I've seen, I'll be watching an NBA game and they'll be doing free throws and they do this fucking. I've only seen it on WWE where they shrink the game down and put a commercial picture in picture. I'm I don't give a fuck about whatever you're trying to sell to me right now. There is literally a live game going on. You want to do this shit in timeouts? You want to do this shit in an injury timeout? They got to clean the court, whatever. But he's literally shooting free throws right now, and they have a commercial playing. And it's so just screw whatever the broadcaster has to say. I'm going to listen to this fucking Ozempic commercial. God damn it. It's fucking annoying.
That's how the NBA bumps up their salary cap, $10 million per team.
Yeah,
right.
But to that point, you would absolutely hate watching the PGA. That they do that for half the fucking broadcast.
They do it in the PGA a lot too.
A lot, yeah.
Buck, are you an avid WWE watcher?
No, but my best friend is. It's really annoying. Every time I go to her house, that's all we watch is AWE and WWE.
Okay.
That's funny.
Yeah. That's the only reason I know about it. And they do it a lot. They'll be in the middle of the fight, and then there's just, half the screen is a different commercial. And, there will be times where, and, obviously a lot of it's scripted, but, there'll be times where something happens, and they're why is there a commercial right now?
Mm-hmm.
You need Ozempic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's messed up. And, somebody's, literally bleeding on the canvas, and they're let me tell you about FanDuel.
Literally, it's so annoying. Oh, I hate that so much. Just
That's
take a time off. Take a commercial break.
Yes. Yeah. Or don't. Or just let us watch your freaking product.
Yeah. Facts. I mean, they're already commercializing everything with in baseball, the scoreboards and the mats on the
exactly
on
the back of the mound.
Yeah, the back of the mound. Here's your starting lineup presented by fucking T-Mobile or whoever.
We can't even just have an MVP in the NFL anymore. It has to be the Pepsi MVP of the year. It's
the Kia All-Star.
The Kia All-Star, exactly. Yeah, what the hell? What the hell?
That's how they make their money.
You're not encouraging me to buy a Kia by doing that. That is not happening.
Built Ford tough. You buy it.
We're gonna become the Bentley late entry. eventually.
No, dog, we're going to be the Canada Goose late entry.
Canada Goose late entry.
I'm telling you, we are going to get them to sponsor us one day.
One day. It'll be like Pat. I know you're not a big fan of Pat McAfee's show, but it'll be like he was promoting Pizza Hut for like 4 or 5 years, he and the boys, and Pizza Hut's trash, so I don't know why he was. And then finally they got a Pizza Hut sponsorship, and it was like the Colts won the Super Bowl to him. Like, he was just like, let's go Pizza Hut. Like, he was so hyped. That'll be us when Canada Goose finally gives in.
Hell yeah. Wait, I don't have beef with Pat McAfee. I don't know where that came from.
I know you don't have beef. I just say you don't watch it. You don't watch him that much. Because I feel like every time I'm like, hey, I saw this on his show, you're like, oh. Then you got mad at me about his acronym.
Oh, I didn't get mad at you. I think it's hilarious, dog. A male sports show, the acronym is PMS. That's funny as fuck.
That is rough. That is rough.
That's funny as hell.
I can't defend him on that. I can't defend him on that.
Oh, my God. What you got next for us, Buck?
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, there is no segue from that's one of my best.
This was some off-script shit, for sure.
So, Jimmy Haslam has a quote that says, "We took a big swing and miss with Deshaun. We thought we had the quarterback. We didn't, and we gave up a lot of draft picks to get him. So we've got to dig ourselves out of that hole. The trade was an entire organization decision, and it ends with D and I. So hold us accountable." My quick thoughts on it is like, well, no shit, Jimmy. I think we could have. I said that. I said this was a mistake as soon as it was reported, for a myriad of reasons. Disregarding every off-field thing that he had going on, just not even going to touch it. Just on-field play, yes, he was a great quarterback, but I just don't think he was worth the money or the picks, like, even in that time. And maybe my judgment was clouded by everything that was going on in the off-field, but just off-rip, I thought it was a bad move already. It's also crazy to me to hear an owner own up to something like this. Jerry Jones would never. What are your guys' thoughts?
Buck, I will touch on it, pun intended. I think that he definitely should not have been anywhere near an NFL roster. I don't think anybody should have put any money into him. Huge liability just straight off the jump. And that's just, I don't like him because of his off-the-field antics, and that's honestly what I'm going to leave it at.
Yeah.
And honest to God, they took him without that being resolved. That had not been resolved yet still. And
which says a lot about your organization.
It does. And to stand by that as an owner says you're not going to step away from the GM that made that decision. So this is just like a waterfall effect of just bad decisions. And if I was a Browns fan, which thank God I'm not, I would be disappointed, terrified, angry.
Yeah.
All of those emotions.
Yeah, I don't know if, like, I know none of us are Browns fan, but, like, coming from a fan perspective, I could not imagine, like, an owner coming out with a statement like that when, like, everybody in the world obviously knows this. Like, you're telling us the sky is blue. Like, yeah, like, I mean, it's one thing to own up to your choices and own up to your mistake and say, hey, hold me accountable. But I feel like it's a crazy thing to say when, number one, he's still on your roster. Number two, this is post 2 injuries and not after shitty play, like, and like not after like the crap play that he had, not after like there were a lot of times that he could have came out and said this, and he chose now to say this.
Well, because they may be thinking about drafting another quarterback. That's probably why.
And there's more accusations, but
against Deshaun?
Yeah. There's more in Cleveland. Yeah.
Wait, in Cleveland?
Yes.
You're telling me right now that this man, in spite of the previous accusations, went to Cleveland and opened up shop again?
Yes. I'm looking that up to back this real quick.
While you're doing that, yeah, I think it's crazy. I think that's a wild statement to make while he's still on the roster. Like, that's gotta be crazy. Deshaun's probably just got a fucking alert on his phone and was like, what the fuck? But, yeah, I mean, it seems like, that shit seems like, karma to me. I mean, I think all four of us here, obviously it's allegations, so we're not trying to, for legal reasons, say he did do it, but I think all four of us believe he did that shit. And it seems like motherfucking karma. You as an organization chose to fucking make him the face of your franchise and make that huge commitment to him, and that burned the shit out of you guys. And I don't think anybody from the outside in feels bad at all. I think people feel bad for Browns fans, but for the Browns organization, order shit, you eat shit.
Yeah, that's a horrible situation to put your fans in. They had to stand behind him those first 2 years that he was playing for him, and it's like, I know you guys don't want to, but you have to.
Yeah. I mean,
And so
I feel like a lot of, I was gonna say, I felt like a lot of fans I saw a lot of fans wearing like his jersey, but like they sewed it together with like colors that like as apparently associated with like sexual assault, like survival and like
awareness.
Awareness of it all. So like I saw like that, but then I also saw like the absolute opposite of it, of people like imitating the allegations at tailgates.
That's
so like
shitty.
I saw two completely different sides of Browns fans. So sorry if you're a Browns fan, but I like off rip don't like you because of that shit.
Yeah,
like,
I saw the former. I did not see the latter. I saw the people like standing against, but that's fine.
If you buy a Deshaun jersey, doesn't he get the proceeds from that? Like, if you buy a jersey just to sew that shit on it, you're still giving him money.
But if you buy a custom jersey and you put Watson on it, and then
or DHgate, get it from China.
That's great. Do you guys know what percentage they make off their merchandise?
No idea.
It's probably 5 or 10%. It's probably pretty low.
You think? I'm pretty sure the NBA is like 50.
They do make something off that. You remember Marvin Harrison Jr. had like a dispute with like Fanatics for a while. You couldn't order like a Marvin Harrison Jr. jersey. Did you find that information, Kyle?
Yes. So, just to clarify, he did. He was accused, and allegations came out the day after his first start with the Browns this last season, and they confidentially settled outside of court in October.
Were they?
According to the attorney Tony Busby, who represented the woman suing Watson, they settled outside of court.
Were they allegations?
So I mean, it's kind of
Texas still, or were they allegations like in? Cleveland?
These are from Cleveland. These were from this past season at the start of the year, but they got settled out of court. Allegedly.
When someone shows you who they are.
Exactly. You trust it.
Yeah, and Jimmy Haslam, you did not believe it, and I mean, like, just from a liability standpoint, like, it was a bad move. From like a business standpoint, that's a bad move. Like, there was not any indication that this was going to go well for Browns fans, and I think the karma is going to continue. Like, I don't think drafting a quarterback is going to solve any of their problems. Like, at least in the short term.
That's fair.
Like, they still got money problems. They guaranteed a lot of that contract. So as much as Spencer, you're saying like Deshaun's looking at his phone like, what the fuck from this, quote? Like, he's also got money in the bank from this shit. Like, you know what I mean? I mean, seems like he's paying out a lot of it, but
yeah. I mean, I don't know. Having a rookie quarterback can definitely help because they're on such a short or a small contract.
Plus, they have Kenny Pickett. They're fine.
Yeah, Super Bowl winner.
Super Bowl winner Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
2 gloves on that quarterback.
Yeah, Teddy 2 gloves, baby.
Yeah. As a nice segue from one boring player to a seemingly other boring sport, you have something to tell us about golf. A lot of people.
So actually, it's about a football player. Actually, he might be the potential third string for the Lions this year, but it's about a football player. Kyle Allen has a freaking golf swing on him. Let me tell you what. Journeyman quarterback for the NFL. He has played. What's that?
Can he throw a football?
Well, We'll talk about that. We'll get there. You're raising your hand before the teacher is done talking, all right?
Did you read my report card, bro?
No, I just talked to your mom before the podcast.
Yeah.
So he went from Kyle Allen was a quarterback who was drafted to Carolina, went from there to the Commanders, to the Bills, to Pittsburgh, and he's now with the Lions. So he's been with like 5 to 6 teams through a 7-year tenure. He's really never been able to land a starting spot. He does have about 4,000 career yards and 26 career touchdowns. Probably matches it in interceptions. I don't have the stats in front of me because I lost the tab looking up that last thing. But so he has kind of been a sleeper in the golf realm, so to speak. I've been a big fan of this golf channel called Bob Does Sports for a couple years now. And a year ago, almost to the day, they had Josh Allen, Kyle Allen, who was his backup quarterback at the time, and Sam Darnold on their golf channel. And they did a 3v3 scramble, which is a team golf game. Essentially, Josh Allen carried them through that. He's a pretty damn good golfer. He can drive the ball almost 300 yards. And he carried Sam and Kyle through that challenge, and they still lost to like 3 average Joe golfers. And so I watched this episode thinking like, all right, it's going to be the same old song and dance. Like Josh Allen is going to come out here and he's going to try to carry his boys through this challenge. And let me tell you what, Kyle Allen is a certified stick. He was sinking 40-foot putts, out driving Josh Allen, like was playing his ass off. And the only thing I could come to think of was that he's had a lot of time to practice, because in the last 2 seasons, he has literally played one meaningful snap. He has one pass with the Steelers this past season for 19 yards when both Russ and Justin were hurt for like one play until one of them came back. And in the year prior, he played in 7 games, but he did his best Tim Tebow impression in every single game, because it was just when the game was out of hand and they sent Kyle Allen out there to take the place for Josh Allen and take a knee at the end of the game. So he's had a lot of time to be on the golf course and get his practice in. But that only solidifies my point that being a backup quarterback in the NFL is literally the best job in the world. Like, you get to go toss the rock with the scout team. Then you go sit with the fellas in the film room, talk ball. And then you go hit the links and practice your game. Like, I could not imagine a better life than that. Some kids are inspired by LeBron and Kobe. Just give me that Kyle Allen contract and let me chill. Any thoughts?
I think that you are definitely sleeping on the Bob Does Sports crew, because Fat Perez is a certified golfer, bro.
He is great.
My God. I think you're really sleeping on Fat Perez. Was it Joey Cold Cuts?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
No, Joey's got some distance on him. As soon as he gets up here, it's over. And that was the other thing, is Kyle played the mental warfare too. He was getting Joey drunk by the end of the front 9. He was just handing him transfusions. And so Joey was just hitting the driver all over. So their distance was gone. But you're right. Fat Perez, he's a great golfer. The quarterbacks just played that mind game and the physical game and came out on top.
That's hilarious. I love that backup quarterback. Why would you want to be Kobe when you could be a backup quarterback for an NFL team?
You just barely make it, get 6 figures, and go play golf all day.
I mean, Kyle, you're basically talking about like the backup thing. That's like the whole plot to Blue Mountain State.
I was just saying this.
Yeah,
like the entire plot.
He's just doing it at the pro level. But yeah. I mean, he's also like, I don't want to live the Alex Moran life. All right, I have a fiance. I have like things I want to do with my life at this point. Like, so like if you want to get past just the partying with girls and like coming up to your dorm room and shit, then yeah, let's go with the Kyle Allen build instead of the Alex Moran build. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, that's fair.
And while we are on the topic of golf, I want to give a big shout out to Min Woo Lee, the Australian that took home the Houston Open this weekend pretty easily. It was his first PGA career win. Really looking forward to seeing him take a shot at the Masters next weekend. I'm not sure if Tiger Woods is playing, but it is really cool to see the whole field out there of both the LIV guys and the PGA guys. I'm expecting to see Brooks Koepka rip some 320, 330-yard drives. I want to see Bryson out there doing the same thing. I think it's just a phenomenal tournament. I love the Masters. It's always around my birthday, so I'm just going to be hyped and watching that next weekend.
It does always make me excited when they bring back both leagues together, and I almost wish they'd never split off, but I know it's good for the game to grow the game, to get viewers on it. And I love seeing Bryson and Rory and Brooks and Ian Poulter and like all these guys paired up that you just wouldn't see together. It's fun, so I'm excited.
Let me get this straight. You two motherfuckers sit down and spend your weekend watching golf?
I watch all 4 days of the Masters. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I usually am working a little bit.
The Masters are my favorite. I watch
Masters is the shit
every year.
When you say watch it, like you're watching it like and you're on your phone, or like you're reading a book, or like you're just watching it?
I mean, like, I'll do a little bit of something, because like there's, like you were saying earlier, there's a lot of commercial breaks on the PGA, or a lot of split screens on the PGA. So like if there's a golfer they haven't shown in a couple minutes that I'm following, like I'll take a couple minutes off, but like
it's a lot about who you're watching too.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not a super avid golf fan, but like when I watch the Masters, at least for the last, I don't know, probably 5 maybe 8 years, like obviously maybe 5-8 years ago it was always Tiger Woods, but like I remember the last time he won it. I remember exactly where I was. But like
that was
Brooks Koepka, Bryson DeChambeau, Rory McIlroy, those are some of my favorite golfers. So like I'll be watching specifically them. So in like the difference between me watching golf, like the Masters, between that and like let's say like basketball or football, like when the NFL's on, I'm watching every single game as intently as I possibly can. Whereas like when I watch golf, like I'm watching a specific person, and then like the last 2 days, especially after the cut, then I'm just watching like the top 10, and depending on how close it is, the top like 3.
Yeah, 100% agree with that completely. And even sometimes you fall asleep for an hour on Saturday and you wake up and you're like, oh shit, Koepka's 8 under.
In your entire life.
It's the best. It's the best lullaby, dude. It's the best
Look
lullaby.
at his damn face.
Reminds me of sitting down with my grandpa and just waking up. Where the hell have I been? Oh shit!
Yeah,
still the British accent in the background and the birds chirping. It's fucking beautiful.
Yeah,
you guys. I want you guys to acknowledge the fact that part of what you're saying, the allure of watching a sport, is sleeping through it.
Yeah, it's a relaxing sport. If you got the time to do it,
dude.
You sit down, you relax, and you watch it, and you enjoy.
Yeah. I'm not saying that this isn't. I should say that's for golf tournaments. The Masters isn't necessarily in that. Now, have I ever fallen asleep in front of the Masters? Maybe, but I couldn't tell you. But I've fallen asleep in front of a lot of golf tournaments, because it's also something that you're just like, you got nothing to do on a Sunday. Oh, this random tournament's on. I'll watch some motherfuckers sling it. And you just like lean back, and then all of a sudden you're just like, I don't know, man. You doze off. It's a trend.
This reminds me of like the people that argue that Bob's Burgers is good, and then they always talk about the fact that like, oh yeah, it's good like while I'm on my fucking phone. It's good background music. I'll clean and I'll listen to it. So it's not good. So it's not good.
It is good.
I'll say if you don't play it, if you don't follow, if you don't understand the sport or like it yourself, then yeah, it's not good. But if you like it, then it's fun.
Let me say, I will go that far. I used to think that there was nothing. I remember being in fucking college with Nolan and coming to his dorm room and he's watching it and I'm like, bro, what else is going on? But I will say this, ever since I started playing golf, I will say it's more interesting to watch, because you can appreciate just how difficult what they're doing is. And
exactly.
I usually watch like the match, like where they have like the other athletes, they have like Josh Allen and Mahomes play and shit like that. I think that those are fun to watch. I guess for me, it's like if golf is on, there's probably like 100 other things I'd rather be doing than watching watching golf. It's not that it's unwatchable. It's just it's not at the top of my priority list.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
On a beautiful
90% of sports watching.
beautiful day when you could be watching golf, you could just easily go outside and play golf.
And play it 100%. But that's the difference between that's why you have the majors. The majors are something different where you get the best golfers across the entire world together.
Yeah.
Like it's like the Olympics, but it happens 4 times a year for golf. You know, so you get the best of the best together. And if you're a fan of golf and you're an avid player, you want to see the best compete against the best and see who the best is that year. Especially if you grew up on somebody like Tiger, like I did, where he just kind of won every year. And yeah, I was a huge fan of that. But now it's like, who's going to do it? Yeah, nobody's going to ever be Tiger again. Or will they? You know, maybe eventually we'll get there. So, I mean, yeah, it's just kind of that same reason that people were watching the NBA in the late 90s, early 2000s, you know. Just kidding.
I think the other thing that's kind of cool is, like, you could, like, have somebody come off the street and, like, one year just be in a few AM pros. You know what I mean? Like, maybe year one he's in, like, 4 AM pros and wins them. And then, like, a year later, he's in a fucking major. Like, you could just have somebody, and he might not make the cut, but, like, I think those stories are always fun to watch. I'm trying to remember who it was a few years ago that did a few AM pros, and, like, then he was, like, in one major. I can't remember who
it was. It was in the Masters. I can't remember his name right now. I know who you're talking about, though.
But he was damn close. And he literally, it was, like, homie off the street, like, he was like a teacher or something. Like it was it was a crazy story, and I just feel like you don't see that in any other sport. Like that's something you're never gonna see in any other sport.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you aren't.
Yeah.
Michael Black, I think was his name. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
Real quick, I just want to not to derail this entire thing, but I just got a notification with Zion not playing the rest of the season. This is the 4th time in 6 years that Zion will finish the season playing 30 games or fewer.
Yep.
Damn.
Not surprising.
That's nuts.
Nasty.
That's not a stat line you want to be in.
Nope.
He's in Joel Embiid combos now.
That's what I was saying earlier,
Yeah. That's terrible. That's Joel Embiid games played with Lonzo Ball stat lines. That's bad.
Yeah. Facts. To move along, we've got in college softball news. I think this is how you say her name, Carlin Pickens, who is a sophomore at Tennessee, threw a record 78.2 mile an hour pitch. Which is just absolutely insane. I talked to, that is some heat. I talked to a few of my old friends that I used to play with and everything, and like everybody I talked to was just like, I don't even know if I would see the ball, like legit. That's like an insane. I think I saw somewhere. I don't know if it was ever like official, but somebody said it was the equivalent to over 100 miles an hour in MLB terms. So for those of you who don't know, number one, obviously college softball, it's underhand pitching, not overhand. It's also 43 feet away. So I think in baseball it's 90, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they're 90 and you got the hill.
Or 60 or something, yeah.
Yeah,
in softball, maybe.
Yeah, in softball you have just like a mound. It's not necessarily a hill, so you don't get like a downhill. And it's also 40 feet away.
And you have to go upward versus going down with gravity. Like the ball is fighting gravity while it's getting there because your release is on an upward angle.
And that's like the biggest thing I was actually going to touch on, Kyle, is like the release is so important in softball. And like I was never a pitcher because I could never hit location. And so like that's kind of what you start with, like, is hitting your location, hitting your pitches. You kind of move along to like, a change up, and then you kind of move along to like curveballs and screwballs, and then there is like a rise ball, which is like a steady rise across the plate. Usually like, I think they say like 5 feet before the plate, you want it to like rise up. That was the bane of my existence when I played. And so when I watched this video, what was the craziest part to me is she threw a 78 mile an hour pitch with a rise. So it wasn't, usually when you have more velocity and more speed, you hit more down. or you have like literally over the fence wild pitch. So to have like accuracy with that velocity is just absolutely unheard of. I think the closest, so the record she broke was from 2012, by Monica Abbott, who I've actually met. But
Nice.
yeah, so when I was playing softball, we used to go to like pro games, and it was the one pro game that we went to in Chicago when the Bandits were still in Chicago. The league no longer exists, which is awesome for women's sports. But the game that I went to, Monica Abbott was playing, so I got to meet her. Super nice. But yeah, she threw 77 in 2012. They tell you, like, I remember when I was playing, they told you that like most pitchers would never even hit 70 on like a regular average basis. To give context, when I was playing, the average was, I mean, really good pitchers would hit 60 with accuracy. Decent pitchers and more of like the average clump of pitchers were probably more or less in the 55, 58 range. I'm assuming once you got to college it was probably more. Just like Googling like a couple things, the average seemed to be 58 to 65 in college right now. So to have almost 10 miles an hour over the average is crazy, and to have it, be accurate as it was is just insane. One of my friends that I was texting, one of the last things I'll say is when I texted one of my friends that I played with for a long time, and one of the probably the best hitters that I played with, and I told her, I said, would you be able to hit that? And she goes, if I saw a 78 mile an hour ball go past me as a strike, I would just count that as a strikeout and go sit my fucking happy ass down. I honestly can't say that I would disagree. I mean, honest to God, that is fucking insane. R.I.P. her shoulder. She's definitely going to have to do surgery, like 100%. Most pitchers I know have had surgery before college.
Oof.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah, that's the type of stuff that makes me just piss myself thinking about standing in a box like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I played slow pitch softball, and I was a single double guy. Like I was a contact hitter on slow pitch, and like, I mean, I know that when they're pitching faster at you, all you got to do is turn and make the contact, whatever, and it'll go further. But even try to see that, like, you're not seeing that ball. Like, that's all reaction. That's all judging it off of that left hip. Well, I'm even going off baseball where you see that left hip come down and you're like, all right, step into it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a whole different try to feel for softball. I mean, yeah, that sounds so foreign to me. I mean, you could throw that pitch to me probably 1,000 times. I might hit it once.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. Like, and I could even try to bunt half of them, and I don't know if I'm going to make contact, especially because it's a riser. Like, what's that?
So that ball's going into your face if you try to bunt.
If I try to turn a bunt into it, yeah, you're right.
Facts.
What's next, Buck?
We got social media from Nolan.
Yeah, so there was one story that kind of jumped out this weekend, and it was Morgan Wallen and his SNL performance. I didn't see any of it. I'm sure he was in a skit or two. Honestly, I'm not really tuned into SNL. But I do know that at the end of the show, during the ending credits, usually the people are all sitting there hanging out, giving each other kisses and handshakes and stuff. He decided to tell the host of the show, I'm not feeling it. Just walked straight off the set, straight to his private jet, took a picture, headed, or what does he say, going back to God's country or something.
Give me back to God's country.
Right. It's like, what the hell are you doing over there in New York doing the show if you're just going to bitch about being there?
Right.
It's like, it makes no sense. I think that he should have at least hung around until the end, and he didn't really have to kind of go on blast on all the city folk. And that's just where I'm going to leave it. What do you guys think about this whole situation?
That's what I think when I walk into a Chipotle, back in God's country.
That's the way he intended it, right there.
Yeah. Build my bowl how I want it.
Yeah. I just think it's funny. Like, you could have said no, bro. Like, you could have just not hosted SNL. Like, why you have to be so salty about it?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Just trying to promote, I guess, but
I've never seen.
I mean, this dude goes from throwing hands in the middle of Nashville, gets drunk and disorderlies, and now all of a sudden he's like, not in my Christian country. We won't have any progressiveness around here.
I've never seen Morgan Wallen in the news
like,
for anything good. Anything.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
I've never seen him in the news for anything good.
It's not like he's an upstanding citizen. He is the last person that I think even the Christians want standing up for them. Like I mean, like, back to God's country. Go back to Tennessee, your own country, man. Like, go get drunk on Broadway and get in fights. Like, shut the fuck up. Showing up here, trying to be funny, trying to be an actor, trying to whatever, and then you just fucking shrug them off and don't even like give in to the tradition. I'm not even a big fan of SNL right now. I'm not a big fan of the cast. I kind of like the Michael Shea, Colin Jost thing they got going on right now. But like, aside from that, I'm not a huge fan of this circuit. But like, I mean, for him to just disrespect the process like that, and I'm sure they paid him a nice check to get to be there, to play the role of being the musical guest, and he couldn't even do that right, and he had to go and like throw shade on social media immediately after. It's like, bro, get a fucking life. Like, get the fuck out of here. I'm so done with this stupid trendy little culture vulture. Sorry.
I think one of the only good things that have come out of this are the memes. There were people mocking him. I saw a picture of one of the SNL cast members took a picture of a Krispy Kreme truck.
Back in God's
country. I think it could bring up some pretty funny things in the meantime, but overall, just kind of some douchebaggery going on.
Can I tell y'all
I
a
saw
secret?
one that was a picture. Yeah, what's up?
You go first. I'm about to switch it a little bit.
Oh, I was gonna say I saw one that it was a picture of a Bucky's billboard on the side of the highway, and it said U-turn 979 miles back to God's country.
Yep. My secret is I've never seen a single episode of SNL. Zero.
I don't think I've ever watched one all the way through, just clips
That's
and
crazy.
segments.
Yeah, I've seen like.
I grew up with a family that
I
liked
grew up
it, so yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
so
never
alone there.
like head over heels for it, but yeah, I mean, I've always known it's kind of like the place where people go to make it, in a sense, in New York.
Yeah.
So I kind of took it as like these people are like, with the benefit of the doubt of like these people are still trying to figure it out, but we are kind of also at a point where if you're on SNL, like, you're kind of established, and the fact that it kind of sucks with all these established comics is like, where's comedy at right now? Where are we going?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I agree. I mean, like, I feel like I used to love, like, especially in the early 2000s, SNL was like my shit.
Oh my God, yeah.
2000s, and then like I remember like, especially like maybe 10, 15 years ago, like when Amy Poehler, Seth Meyers, Tina Fey were all on it. And then I would love it so much I'd go back and watch like previous episodes from previous years, and like Chevy Chase and all them are just so fucking funny. My favorite is Will Ferrell's Cowbell. Like, it gets me every fucking
More cowbell.
More cowbell. Like, every time. That shit is so funny. And
That's a good one.
Tina Fey as Sarah Palin in the 2000s was absolute comedy gold. I mean, that shit was that took satirical, like satirical political commentary, like in comedy, just to a whole different level. I thought that shit was hilarious.
Yeah, she killed that role. I mean, that is one of the best like lores of SNL, I think, of our lifetime, is Sarah Palin, like, because it just kind of it fits so well.
From my house. That shit was so fucking funny.
Dude, yeah, she killed it, and she actually like hit the cadence like perfectly too. It was
perfectly.
It was so good. I mean, you see the guy who's doing Trump now, and he's okay and stuff, but like Yeah, that was peak
Yeah.
presidential impressions right there.
That's crazy you've never seen a full episode, Spencer.
I've seen clips on.
Talk about a hot take of the week.
Like,
I've seen clips on Twitter before, but I mean, like, I've seen like a few funny ones. None of those comics really interest me. This seems like humor for someone that thinks Trevor Noah is funny.
Okay,
yeah.
dude. I get that. Like, the show as a whole, I completely understand.
I've just never seen anything where I was like, you know what? I need to watch fucking SNL tonight.
I have felt like in our adult years, most of the time, they're like just grasping at how can we build a full episode. Like it's usually like one or two fun, like you said, a couple clips are funny, and then it's like the rest are like, I mean, the thing about it, they have to prepare it on like 4 days notice. You get done with the show, you have to like take in the current events that happen in those 2 days. I mean, we are trying to run this podcast and we're trying to keep up with the current events that are going on twice a week, right? Yeah. These people have to deal with like what happened in 3 days and then build skits about it over the next 2 and then rehearse it for a day and then do it. Like it's hard, you know, it's got to be hard.
It seems like the perfect content for YouTube. Like you might have like 2, 3,
100%,
2, 3 minute like funny videos that I can catch a clip of and not spend an hour watching it. But I don't know.
I'm watching more of the skit comedy, like the people that actually have time to prepare for their videos and stuff. Then I'm watching that nowadays because of what you just said. Like it belongs on a place where you can prepare for it and actually like produce it right, not just pump it out as fast as you can.
I think that the humor is just older. I feel like that's like millennial humor to me. I don't know.
See, and I guess it depends on the era of SNL, but I feel like a big part of it for me and why I like it is like especially when like you have like a guest star like Melissa McCarthy, like when she's the host, like I'm seated. Like I feel like she's so funny, like with her type of physical like comedy in a way.
Mm-hmm.
But there's other people who have hosted like a lot where I'm like I could give a shit less about. And honestly, I have not watched a whole lot of it in the last like probably 5-10 years. But like there are a few people where if they go on, I'm like, all right, I'm watching it, and I never watch it live. I'm always watching it the next day because I can fast through the terribly long commercials that they got going on because they got to switch all the sets and stuff like that. And like watching, I think it was Ryan Gosling doing the space one with Kate McKinnon, and where they get abducted into space. Like those are fucking hysterical. And watching that break character is like my favorite part. I will say, like if you were gonna sit down and watch an episode now is not the time.
I guess to clarify what I meant, it seems like humor for people that have live, laugh, love signs in their house. Also, you wanna hear a hot take? I don't think that Will Ferrell is that funny.
Wow, that is a hot take.
It's on the movie for me.
Yeah, no, I'm completely with you. It depends. I mean, there's movies where I laugh my ass off at him, but like, I mean,
this guy doesn't like Step Brothers.
No, Step Brothers.
Like, even like I go back. Step Brothers is great, but like I go back and watch Zoolander. I don't think it's that funny. You know, I will say that. Even shoot. No, that's one of my favorite. Kicking and Screaming with him as a soccer coach.
That's hilarious.
That was he was peak comedy there. But his stupid like PayPal commercials now and like all that shit. It's like I want to pay with you everywhere. Like I'm seeing him all over. I'm seeing him everywhere. Like I can't fucking handle it. I love the guy, but he is. Yeah, I mean, it's just like when Bob Saget went on Full House. It's like, wow, somebody who's actually funny just made himself not funny at all. And yeah, then he went on AFV and made himself even less funny. But we can talk about Bob Saget on a different episode. But yeah. Anyways, go ahead.
I have another.
I thought Nolan had something. My bad.
Oh no, I just said R.I.P. to Bob Saget.
Yeah.
Oh, R.I.P.
I have another funny post. It is from Instagram. I am by May. Posted a picture of like a news article. Wendy's now sells their cheeseburgers for $1, and he said, "Shit made out of shark dick and ladybug pussy."
Oh, no.
I've never in my life thought about ladybug pussy before today.
Oh god!
I got one funny post. This was somebody tweeted out, "You think I'm scared of a guy named Kevin Sampson?" And the University of Houston quoted it and said, "The name is Kelvin." And he just delivered that L that you forgot.
Ooh, let him know. Let him know.
That was the official University of Houston.
That's awesome.
Shout out the guy that runs that page.
Honestly, Kelvin might be a bigger bitch name than Kevin, but that's just me.
What? You think Kelvin is a bitch name?
Dude, Spencer got offended at that.
Wasn't there?
Why is Kelvin? Why is that so offensive to you, Spencer?
Isn't there an older football player that used to play for like the Panthers named Kelvin? Am I tripping?
Calvin Benjamin.
I just think it sounds like a big nerd name, like somebody pushing up their glasses. I'm Kelvin.
Also, the new DC of the Lions is Calvin Shepard, so shut the fuck up, Nolan.
But you think Kevin doesn't sound like that?
You're right.
Bro, I'm not.
Kevin
I'm just
sounds
saying.
like a
It
nerd.
sounds like I'm gonna push my glasses up. I'm Kelvin.
Wait.
Wasn't the fucking guy from SpongeBob, like the little pickle cucumber guy, wasn't his name Kevin?
Yes, and there are gonna be people with names that are nerds everywhere, but that's just the way it sounds to me.
What do you think? What do you think most people imagine if they close their eyes and hear the name Nolan?
I don't think there's anything crazy about it. It's probably some dude throwing fastballs and throwing fists at the batter, rushing them out.
That's a good answer. That's a very good answer.
I don't even know any Kelvins. I'm just talking shit.
Yeah, I know
neither
Calvin
do I.
Shepard and Calvin Benjamin, and I know neither of them on like an actual first name basis. So
Yeah. What do you
Yeah, I
think?
don't know any Kelvins either. It's just the way I was thinking. I guess I'm thinking about like the temperature. I don't know.
Oh shit! I don't think that Spencer is a very common name too. I feel like that also sounds kind of like a dorky name. I was not a fan of it growing up.
I get it.
I guess if
You
say any
have
name-
that cool spelling about you though. Like nobody else I've ever met has the S.
With
I
the
like
second
it.
S, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Spence with an S is really badass, I think.
The second S is because I'm special, guys.
Hey. There was a white top on his bus. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my god, not that kind of special. All right, let's wrap this up before we get canceled.
That's where we gotta end.
And with that, thank you guys for watching another episode of Late Entry. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. You see Nolan pointing, he's helping you out. Hit it now. Thanks, y'all. See you next week.